I am supersonic.
Hey, what's up everyone? Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse, and today I was in the mood for a movie experience that was a little bit goofy, a little bit silly, and against my better judgment, I went with 1979's Supersonic Man, a Spanish superhero movie that was clearly influenced by the success of Richard Donner's Superman the year before, but with the goal of making it incredibly cheap and not making a lot of sense, which they've accomplished masterfully. This was written and directed by Juan Piquer Simón, which North American audiences knows best for his two biggest achievements in horror and exploitation cinema, 1982's Pieces and 1988's Slugs, which are two movies I reviewed during my 31 Days of Horror Challenge last October, which made me curious about the rest of Juan Piquer Simón's movies during his lifetime, and made me dig a little bit further down his filmography, and here was Supersonic Man, which is about an alien named Kronos sent to our planet in order to help humanity against its own threats. The latest one being from a mad scientist named Dr. Gulick, played by the one and only Cameron Mitchell, who plans to take over the world for some reason. To achieve his world domination, he kidnaps Professor Morgan, a fellow scientist, for an assist on his personal doomsday device. The alien, in his human disguise as a private detective named Paul, stays close to the scientist's daughter to protect her against Dr. Gulick's henchmen and his clunky robot. Will Supersonic Man save the day and defeat Dr. Gulick's evil plan? Yes. I didn't want to keep you in suspense, so that's why I went wild and just spoiled it for you. In the first minutes of the movie, they were nice enough to give us an exposition dump to let us know and the alien what mission it's being sent out on. And right away, I am digging on this look. His silvery skin with his glittery blue Batman-inspired mask with matching Speedo. We jump to the kidnapping scene of the professor that Dr. Gulick needs to help him with his galaxy-destroying weapon.
You are in my hands. In my power.
The main plot point of the remainder of the movie is Dr. Gulick trying to kidnap the professor's daughter so that he can have leverage over him to make him do what needs to be done. But when you know it, Supersonic Man is always there to thwart his plans. He never gets to the daughter, and that's because Supersonic Man, in his human form, is a horny mustachioed dude that's trying to mac on Earth, so he's always around. And that's intercut with long, interminable speeches from Cameron Mitchell, talking about his vague evil plan or trying to convince the professor to join the dark side, and he always has him by his side throughout the movie, which is weird.
You old idiot.
Supersonic Man's powers are lackluster at best. He's got bulletproof skin, can move things with his hands, has the most graceful flying capabilities I've ever seen a superhero possess, and can turn your gun into a banana.
And I don't like bananas.
This Bruce Banner / Hulk switcheroo makes little sense. The only real difference between characters is one has a mustache and the other one is dressed for Pride Week. I was hoping he could have kept that sweet mustache between transformations. I mean, look how much cooler it would have looked. And oh yeah, all these powers he gains is through a watch he wears, and when it wants to transform, it has to say,
"May the force of the galaxies be with me."
Otherwise, it's just a regular old Paul. He gets knocked out very easily, and if only one of Dr. Gulick's henchmen were a great shot, this movie would have been over and done with right quick, and we certainly wouldn't want that to happen. Being that this is a Spanish movie, it was shot in Spain, but the movie is set in New York City through the liberal use of stock footage. When it comes to the performance in this, one of the big reasons I pulled the trigger on Supersonic Man and used 85 minutes of my precious time, because, you know, I gotta be selective, I ain't getting any younger. Obviously, it was for the one I'm wearing his face on my shirt, Cameron Mitchell, and he delivered as always. This is a time in his career where the laziness hadn't kicked in yet. He could still deliver a performance without having a script in front of him. Will you have Cameron Mitchell blow his top at some point? Of course you will.
We're not lying. Honest, we're telling the truth. Ow! He was a man dressed in... Ouch! We all saw him. Please.
That's what I want out of him. The only travesty in this movie is that they had the audacity to dub him. I wonder how he felt about that. You have to let Cameron Mitchell be Cameron Mitchell in all his blustering glory. Unfiltered, the true essence of him must shine.
Will you close the fucking doors? Tight! Assholes.
Supersonic Man was played by a bodybuilder and a former Tarzan, José Luis Ayestarán. Our main man, Paul, was played by Italian actor Antonio Cantafora, but his mustache did most of the work. When it comes to the special effects, boy howdy, they didn't spare any expenses. All too real flying sequences. Henchmen with state-of-the-art laser guns, a boxy fire-belching robot that moves at the speed of light, a steamroller that can be easily picked off the ground that was so next level in human strength, my eyes could not conceive of what just happened, a car that spontaneously explodes while driving down a slight grassy incline.
She's out of control!
And look how cute this miniature helicopter and submarine are! I will say though, some of the production design is pretty cool. Some of the locations they had access to, and clearly someone on that team had a love for pineapples. Look, I know they had to work with what they had budget-wise, unlike the size of a studio production like Superman, where it was just raining money, but come on, don't make it that obvious how cheap your movie is. Be creative. I gotta talk about the music in the movie, cause get used to this John Williams-inspired score cue. You're gonna hear it a lot. Being that I watched the English version, I missed out on Supersonic Man, the disco song performed by Natura, that you can hear in the original Spanish version, and it fucking slays.
Supersonic Man, you're super free.
They tried to introduce some slapsticky humor that is not funny at all. Maybe in Spanish it plays better. There's this drunk guy who's the comic relief of the whole movie, who's a walking billboard and is annoying to say the least. And on top of that, he gets to be the last shot in the movie.
Sugar! Sugar! Please, please!
So yeah, sadly, it's not weird or funny enough to truly make it a so bad it's good movie. The horrible special effects, even for its time and the budget they had, is no bueno. The movie's pace can be best described as sluggish. The plot feels aimless and gets more confusing as time goes on. A lot of it is repetitive and frankly boring. There's weird transitions and editing choices throughout the movie that makes me think the editor was bored by what he was working with and wanted to spice it up a little. All the evil gibberish Dr. Gulick spouts throughout the movie, I don't believe he ever laid out what his ultimate goal was besides possibly ruling the galaxy. To what purpose, we will never know. My curiosity got the better of me because I did enjoy Juan Piquer Simon's other cinematic works, but this time it just didn't pay off. Supersonic Man has shockingly never gotten a physical release beyond VHS, if you don't count a German DVD release that I don't know how official and legit it is. Seven Films did release last year on Blu-ray Juan Piquer Simon's other ripoff movie, 1983's Extraterrestrial Visitors, which I don't think I have to tell you which movie was ripped off. So possibly Supersonic Man might be in the works. In the meantime, you can watch it on the YouTubes. I'll post the link in the description. So that was my review for Supersonic Man. Go visit all my socials at Grindhouse Funhouse. Like, share, and subscribe. Do leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Supersonic Man. More movie reviews coming up soon, so stay tuned. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll say to you, ciao, bye for now.
Bravo! Bravo! Beautiful.